Hey guys, so I want to teach you how to completely get off any sort of medication, not do any sort of surgeries, not make major changes to your diet and lifestyle, not to take any supplements or any of that crap, and deal with GERD symptoms and heartburn the right way. Let me tell you how to do it. So basically, I've had GERD since I was 18, 17, and it came about by serious severe heartburn. And unfortunately, because of that, when I went to the doctor and I was still kind of a teenager, didn't want to really argue or do my own research, I started getting on proton pump inhibitors. So if you know what those are like pantoprazole, I think they're called. I haven't taken them in quite a long time. The doctors will easily prescribe this sort of medication nowadays, and the long-term studies of them honestly are not reliable enough for you to consider taking them for the rest of your life, especially when you're like 20 years old. You should not be taking these things for 30 years. There are various issues that can happen. Well, just think about it logically. It reduces the amount of acid that your stomach makes, so you don't absorb nutrients the right way, like you're supposed to. There's various studies that you can look online with various vitamin deficiencies that you can have, weaker tendons, weaker bones, mental problems when you're older. Long story short, the option to take this medication, in my opinion, is ridiculous, and it's not something that you should take unless absolutely necessary. Now, another option is to actually do a surgery, where what they do is they take the upper part of your stomach and they wrap it around your lower esophageal sphincter. I think it's called the LES, if I can recall correctly, and that closes it up so that the acid is harder for the acid to come up and give you heartburn. What a crazy surgery that you just imagine doing that surgery. If you're an active guy that does, gym, sports, combat sports, etc., even if you don't do it, there are chances that you have to go back and do the surgery again, that you're going to lose a lot of strength, that you won't be able to eat properly. The recovery is going to be horrible. And again, there's a high chance that the closure that they do, the wrap that they do, might actually open up in a couple of years, and you have to go and fix it. I mean, this is horrible, and unfortunately, I was very close here in Ontario to actually have it covered and go through with it. Thankfully, I did it. Now, I've had quite a long history with GERD, so I can give you so much information about all the different things I did and how I finally came to the point where I've been off any medications. I will never do that surgery. And my diet is pretty fair. I can eat mostly what I want. Now, you might notice that I have a shisha right there. I can't smoke all the time, but I can smoke sometimes. And I can't drink all the time, but I can drink sometimes. And I think that's for the best. So let me show you what I did. Now, if you're on the medication now, this is what I can recommend for you. You can search online. You'll understand that if you want to get off the medication, the proton pump inhibitors, you're going to have severe bounce back. You're going to have terrible heartburn for a couple of weeks, I would say, because of the rebound effect of your body having suppressed acid. And now that you're getting off the medication, your body's not going to be used to it. And you're going to have an increased amount of acid, of stomach acid, more than your regular baseline levels. So there are various threads. I don't want to go into it here, but there are various threads on how to kind of wean off the medication, which is what you want to do. And you're going to have a hard time, I'll be honest with you. But this is the key here. I don't recommend ever doing this cold turkey, and I recommend going through my methods and seeing if you could do that at least to prepare to get off the medication. If you're not on medication, that's great. Are you overweight? If you're overweight, let's just be serious. Don't be overweight. Just lose the weight. If you're really overweight, you're fat, lose the fat. That's one of the main things that you need to do, because you don't really know if the GERD is because of you being overweight and just eating trash foods constantly. I think if you get in a better physical condition, what I will talk about is how your breathing and your diaphragm can actually impact your stomach acid. But in general, you're just an unhealthy person if you're overweight. So if you're gonna, do medication and surgery, I don't even want to talk to you unless you're gonna lose the fat first, okay? Because you're not serious at that point. Sorry, that's just the reality. This is how I feel about it. Next, there are other ways that you can go about different supplements. Like I've tried, for example, orange peel oil. I've tried changing my entire diet. I've tried literally just eating chicken and rice and nothing else. You can also test your triggers. You'll find that, you can't eat onions, you can't eat tomatoes, you can't have cigarettes, you can't have alcohol, you can't have coffee, you can't have chocolate, you can't have sugar, you can't have bread. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And you need to test yourself and see, where do you get the heartburn? At what point? Is it right after you eat the food? Is it a particular type of food? Is it very oily food? Is it when you go to sleep and you're laying flat? A lot of these questions you need to kind of first understand, at least at this point, if you're going over this right now, over this video. But again, I want to get to the point. I want to get to what I did to actually fix it. So the reason why I'm giving all this context is because I've tried everything. I've tried all the other methods. Some of them helped, some of them didn't. And the issue that I had was like, I had a girlfriend at the time that ate some spicy food. I also, I just wanted to enjoy my life again without like completely, not being able to eat anything. So I hopped back on the medication after being off it for a couple of years. Unfortunately, that was a couple of years ago. The timelines might be a little bit confusing to you, but I'm just trying to get to the bread and butter here, so you get the point. Now, I took the medication again when I came back to it for about a year or more, I think 2 years, and I was seriously considering the surgery. And then I found something online that actually fixed it. And this is what you need to do to fix it. This is the number one activity. What you want to do to fix it is you need to understand a couple of things and just ignore all the bullshit telling you that this is impossible, that this muscle can't be trained, that this is absurd. Just try it out first and see if it actually works for you. Because just so you get it clear, I can almost eat anything I want at this point. I can bulk, I can cut, I can change my diet, I can have junk food, I can have Burger King, I can have tomatoes every day, I can even have coffee almost every day. I can pretty much get away with most things. The only thing that I've noticed is tough is either if I'm smoking every day, I'll start to get bad heartburn at night, or if I'm drinking a lot. So those things actually I prefer to cut. And also sugar. If I eat a lot of sugar, I do get heartburn. But all these things I find kind of beneficial for me, that I get heartburn from it, because then it means I kind of stop taking them. The entire point of the exercise is this. My opinion and what I think is, you have heartburn not because you have a excess stomach acid, but because you have a too wide of an opening from your stomach to your esophagus. The opening is unnatural. It's too wide. There are tests that you can do where they put a wire up your nose, down into your throat, and they can measure the pressure. Now, my pressure was half as strong as a normal person's. Yours might be the same. There are tests that you can do that literally test the pressure of your esophagus, and it was confirmed. So I know this for a fact. You probably have the same situation. And what you need to do is strengthen that muscle. But back to the original point. The way that I pretty much got off the medication completely, and the reason why I'm never considering surgery again, is because what I did was purchase an inversion table. Yep, an inversion table, just like this one. And what I did was I would go at a 90-degree angle, at the peak of my training, and I would drink water upside down. I would take sips of water upside down, maybe 5, maybe 10, a couple times a day. And I would train and I would mentally focus on closing my LES, my lower esophageal sphincter. I would literally be able to mentally feel it close. Now, when I get heartburn, I'm quite literally able to close it. And people say that's ridiculous. I don't give a shit because it works. I'm literally able to feel my heartburn stop because the heartburn can't go up my throat because I have more control. Now, this is the way that I fixed it. It's that simple. It took me about 6 months to a year of, drinking on the inversion table upside down, having the water go up against gravity, contracting my throat muscles, mentally just feeling like I'm pushing the water up and closing it. And it actually resolved it. Now, another thing, just to get slightly off topic, is that you could have what's called a hernia, where a portion of your stomach, because your LES is more open than a normal stomach, that's probably why you have heartburn. You can have a hernia where a portion of your stomach is actually inside of your LES. So there's like a kind of like a space. And one of the things that you want to start off with is probably drink 2 cups of water in the morning and bounce on a trampoline. That's something that I did in order to bring your stomach down as much as possible and pull it down. All of this stuff can sound idiotic and retarded, but I'm not taking medication. I can eat whatever I want. So you figure it out yourself. If you don't want to believe it, you don't want to trust it. This is the reality, right? This is the factual proof. Now, there are people that talk about this online. There's research you can find about this. Maybe it's become more popular because it's been about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years since I started this and I first heard about it. There was one blog post. One person did the study himself, and he didn't use an inversion table. He just did kind of like a what you call a bridge pose with your feet, and you bridge your hips up, and then he would drink water. My recommendation is use an inversion table because it's a much better way to multiply the force of gravity and be at an even steeper decline and have the water go upwards. I would recommend you to ignore anybody who tells you that it's impossible, because I'm telling you that it worked for me. Now, can somebody tell me that it's still impossible? 100%? Sure, but it worked for me. And that's all that matters, right? That it actually works. Now, again, the strengthening of it is having water or food, you can even do oatmeal, go up against gravity in your esophagus. You also want to have a mental mind-body connection when you're doing this. You want to do deep breathing. You want to feel the closing of your throat, the closing of your esophagus, even the closing of the lower esophageal sphincter where your stomach meets. You want to be able to get to the point where you do that. Now, I would recommend about 6 to 12 months. This is the way to fix it, guys. This is the absolute way that you need to test, you need to try before you commit to taking medication like this, like proton pump inhibitors for the rest of your life. Before you commit to a serious surgery that's going to change you for the rest of your life, you need to take this advice and try this out for yourself, because it works and it can fix your GERD. It can get you to a point where you don't need to take medications. It can get you to a point where you can get most of your diet that you want, and, you know, with a few small modifications, like not smoking, perhaps. That's how it goes for me. So that's the way. If you have any questions, any comments, concerns, maybe I'll make a more detailed video about it later. But I just wanted this to be as short, as sweet as possible, and just get you on your way. Hopefully this helps you.